Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video and a new week at Oxford. This week is going to be the full week again. Today's video for me, last week's video, was just my weekend in London because last week I was just teaching and working on essays in the afternoon, so I just was like not gonna worry about filming stuff when like it was just gonna be the exact same thing every day, and a large part of it I wouldn't be able to film anyway. But I did get to do some cool stuff. Teaching was amazing. I really loved doing that, and I'm so glad that I did it. So I had so much fun doing that. And with that school group, I got to go to Stratford-upon-Avon, which was really cool. I've posted some photos on Instagram of Stratford. It's gorgeous. I really loved it. It's like an amazing day trip, and it's not that far away from Oxford, which is nice. And we really lucked out with the weather. It was one of like our warmer, sunnier days last week that we got to go, so it was perfect. And yeah, I've also posted them on Lemon8. I don't know, I kept getting notifications that everyone that I followed on TikTok was on Lemon8, so I just made it. I don't know, I feel like it just looks like a combination of Instagram and TikTok. Like it's merged the concepts of the apps together. I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious if it will blow up as much as Instagram and TikTok. So obviously there's going to be some other new app that's going to be the new thing. So I'm curious what it will be. But yes, I have joined it, so I guess you could go follow me on there if you want, but I don't know how much I'll post on that as much as like Instagram or TikTok, whatever. But yeah, today I've been working at home this morning, but I just had lunch and I'm going to head out. It's a nice sunny day, so hopefully I'm gonna see if I can get a spot at the Independent Cafe, but if not, I'll maybe head somewhere else. Like maybe Waterstone's Cafe would probably be even busier, honestly. So I don't know if I would bother going to another cafe if Independent is super full. If it is, I might just head to the Old Bodleian or something. We'll see. Now that undergrads are probably, most people are kind of like gone now over break. I know like a lot of people are traveling right now and everything, so we shall see. But yeah, I'm feeling very springy today. I call this my Mamma Mia dress because it reminds me of young Donna's skirt in the second Mamma Mia movie. But yeah, it's like really nice and sunny out today, and it's supposed to be like quite warm, so I'll probably take along a jacket just in case. But yeah, very happy. Hello again, guys. It's the evening now. I went to the Independent Cafe and then the Bodleian, as was the plan. Got a decent amount of stuff done, which is good, so had a pretty productive day. And then I managed to actually find some hand wash detergent. So after I came back, I did some hand washing, which I find very satisfying. I feel like a lot of people don't like doing it, but I like doing it. So I did that, and then have continued to like do some work and do some stuff here. So nothing too exciting this evening. But yeah, had a good day and it was pretty chill, but I think I'm just going to get ready for bed now. So I'll see you tomorrow. Hello everybody. So it is Tuesday now, it's the next day. I've just gotten sort of ready, but I think I'm just gonna stay at home today to work because tonight Anika and I are going into London to see Tom Hiddleston in Much Ado About Nothing, which I'm so excited about. It's supposed to be such a fun show. I've seen like clips from the bow and like the promotional stuff online, and it looks like very colorful and very fun. They do this like crazy dancing at the end to confetti and everything, so I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be a really good time. So I just need to like really lock in and try to get into work mode ahead of time. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing now, and then gonna head into London. Yeah, I'm quite excited. I think it's gonna be really, really good. And Tom Hiddleston is like a Shakespeare guy, so I'm excited for it. But I know that he like does comedy, but I haven't seen him in as many comedies as I have like drama movies or more dramatic roles. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it will be interesting and like cool to see him in that. So yeah. Okay guys, so I'm just heading out for Much Ado. This is the outfit because I felt like it was a bit on theme. If you've seen any of the photos of the show where they like do all the confetti, it's very colorful, it's like over the top, there's a lot of dancing. So I thought that this would be a fun outfit with the pink and the blue, and then this top is like excessively ruffled, which I've got a bunch of it like tucked, but if I get hot and I take the blazer off, then it's like a ba-bam moment, you know? So I'm just gonna run out and meet Anika and we're gonna catch the train.
Hi,
She's back. I'm back.
Hi, love.
I remember it being close.
Hi, vlog.
It's very peppy.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, there was also a photo earlier.
Hi everybody, so it's been a hot minute since I checked in because this morning all day I've just been computering. I'm probably not going to film a whole lot over the next couple days because it's literally just hunkering down getting these essays done. But yeah, I just wanted to say that Much Ado About Nothing was so fun. We both thought that it was really interesting because it was like the same director and production company as the Tom Holland Romeo and Juliet, which neither of us really liked. And this was similar in that it was like a very minimal set, but I feel like they used it more. Like it was really just chairs, a lot of confetti, and then this like giant heart balloon, but it was so fun. Like the scene where Benedict is like hiding and eavesdropping was so funny. So yeah, it was really well done. It was like a really fun production. So I'm glad we went and saw that. And today, as my little break from my essay pit, I'm going to a signing at Waterstones with Julia Quinn, who wrote Bridgerton. So I felt like this was Bridgerton-esque. It's, you know, Bridgerton blue, very floral. And then I just tossed on a cardigan because it is like chilly out. So yeah, I'm gonna walk over to Waterstones, do the signing, and then come back and get back into my pit, I guess. Hi guys, so sorry I was not a good vlogger. I got there quite early. I got there like a half an hour early because I just didn't know what the vibe was gonna be like of the line. And I went in and there was like no signs anywhere about it. So I was kind of like, am I tripping? Like, did I get this wrong? So I was like checking my ticket to make sure it said Oxford and said that day, because yeah, there was like nothing anywhere. And Waterstones is like a few stories tall at Oxford, so I was like, I mean, it must be on one of the other floors. So I walked up to the second floor, first floor in UK, and there was nothing. So then I went up to where the cafe is, because I thought like, oh, maybe they'll do it like at the cafe or in the cafe. No one there, but I saw some other people with Bridgerton books sitting at tables, so I was like, okay, this will be it. I went down another level. I kind of saw some people congregating, so I think I probably just like looked a bit lost, because one of the girls working there came and like asked me if I was good, and I was like, yeah, I'm here for the signing, like just wondering where it is, and it was gonna be right there. So I think I was like the third or fourth person in line. And yeah, she just like explains like these are all the books. She's signing any book up to 2, and yeah, that was basically it, and that they were selling some of them. Also, like, they only had 1 copy left of The Viscount Who Loved Me, so that must have been the most popular one that people had been buying ahead of time for the signing. So yeah, which makes sense. That one's Kate and Anthony's book. And probably like if I was picking the book I got signed like just based off favorite couple, it probably would have been like Simon or Daphne, which is the one I did. I just did the first book because I thought like that makes the most sense. But I probably would have picked them, Kate and Anthony, or maybe Benedict and Sophie, or maybe Francesca and Michael. I'm not sure. But yeah, so like I'd said, I'd ordered this book a while ago off of World of Books. Like I wanted to get one from Waterstones because that was who was having the signing, but they only had the Netflix tie-in edition available in store and online for The Duke and I. And so that was just like, as far as tie-in editions go, it's not awful, but it's not like it's not the one that I would want. So I just found this one on World of Books, which sells like new and used books. So like I said, I got 4 books for £13. Crazy. So this was like £3. And she added this little sticker. So she had these stickers to cover up the like Netflix like printed, like it's not actually a sticker that they've stuck on it. It's like one of the printed stickers that's like actually on the cover. So she had these like gold stickers to cover that on the original books, or on like the new covers. So it just says signed by the author. And then yeah, so she signed for Cassidy. They came around with sticky notes ahead of time to like write our names down, which I thought was quite smart, because then she doesn't like have to waste time asking people how to spell their names. And then it says, "We are all diamonds, Julia Quinn." So I thought that was very sweet, and yeah, it was really nice. I went up to her and I was like, said the other Miss Bridgerton was one of the first historical romances I've ever read, and I still like really love it. And like she's the thing, and she was like, "You're not from here." So we talked about like Canadians and traveling, always like really flexing that they're Canadian so that we don't get mistaken for Americans. Yeah, so it was really, really nice. And I just didn't like film anything because I was like so close to the front, and it felt awkward to just like have my camera up, so I didn't really get anything. But I mean, it was just like her sitting there and stuff. I'll put some photos up because like they had someone who works Waterstones, you could hand your phone to her and then she'd take photos of you. So yeah, I felt like it was like really well run, just really nice. So yeah, I'm glad I did that. Nice little break from my essays. I also grabbed a Joan the Juice latte with vanilla milk on my way back, and now it's just back to it. Hello everybody, long time no see. I believe there's a plane or something. I don't know if you can hear it. Been a long time for me, or it's felt like a long time. The last couple of days was crazy, but I'm done my papers now. They're finished, thank God. I swear those essays became sentient and like tried to kill me in my sleep. Not fun. It's like, I'm very glad to be finished with them. I'm not sure why I found these ones so difficult. I think I just kind of like built both of them up in my head, and it was just like, it was a rough go, honestly. I really, like, I enjoyed both of the classes, but I think because they were both in disciplines that like I did have some familiarity with from my undergrad. Like I did some paleography and like book history and codicology and stuff in undergrad. I also took history classes in undergrad, but like writing a master's level paper for it is different, and they weren't like, those subjects weren't my main focus. Like, I took a few history classes, I took a few paleography, book history courses, and did some like volunteer stuff, but it was like also not, for the paleography, it wasn't like in the, I hadn't done the kind of thing that I did for my essay. What I should have, I sort of regretted not having just done an edition, but when they'd first said like, oh, you can create an edition, I was like, oh, perfect, I'll do that. But then they said like the word count of the essay does not go any lower if you do an edition, so I was like, oh, so it's just double the work. So I don't want to do that. And then I flipped back, I was like, okay, maybe I will do it because it's more of just like a straightforward task. Like there's an obvious like, this is what you're doing for this project. Whereas like I was kind of struggling to like think of ideas at first. And then when I had my first meeting with the professor, I said like, just not really like sure what I want to do. I have done digital editions before. And he'd said like, oh, maybe you like, that's great. Like you could do that. Or you could do something else because you already have that on like your resume. Then you can say, hey, I also know how to do this. Like, here's my project on it, which did make sense to me at the time. And we'd like talk through some ideas of what I could do for my essay. So I was like, okay, now I have like a different idea. Let me do that, which like was good and I think was fine. But then like actually writing the essay, it wasn't like, I was writing it on, I was comparing, okay, so like I was looking at The Complaint of Mars and The Complaint of Venus by Chaucer, and then The Complaint d'Amours, or An Amorous Complaint, which is like maybe by Chaucer, where it's like attributed to him but kind of shakily, like people debate it. So I was looking at like multiple witnesses or like multiple manuscripts that had those poems in it, and like sort of looking at transmission and are poems that are like definitely attributed to Chaucer treated differently than ones that are not attributed to him with less certainty, like that kind of thing. So, but that's not really something that we'd ever like delved into in class. We didn't talk a lot about transmission. Class time was basically all focused on like paleography, like on looking at script models. And then we did like a brief, maybe 2 classes on digital editions. So I just felt like, I guess like I felt less confident about what I was doing, I guess, in the essay. So like, not that I was like, I don't think I've done anything like super wrong, but it's just, you know, like when it's something a bit newer to you is harder. And then the history class, it was another thing where I was like, I haven't done much with that time period or subject. Like it was saints in late antiquity. So not my area at all, but like almost felt close enough that I felt like I should know more. But I really, really loved the classes and everything. And I liked my essay topic. I feel like I was just a bit more stressed about like writing a history style essay because I've like really only written like English or last year some more like technical papers like describing my projects. So I think I was just kind of like just a bit more anxious about it than I have been with like other essays that I've written in the past. And the fact that they were both due like within a day of each other did not help. It is cruel and unusual. They're like, hey, so how about you have 2 essays that together are the equivalent of your dissertation, except you're doing 2 research sets and you have like about a third of the time to do it. Have fun. It's cruel and unusual. So it was just like a stressful few weeks. People at Oxford kind of semi-jokingly call Hillary term Hellery, and it is apt. It was just like a very busy term doing things that are like a bit newer to me, I guess, or things that are not in my like main territory. Which I actually, like, I like doing that. Like, I liked getting to take a history class. I liked the paleography class. So I enjoyed getting to do it, but then when it came time to, like, actually write the essays, I think I just, like, built it up a lot. I also had signed on to do that teaching, which I'm so glad that I did it. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. But it does, like, it just adds another thing. Like, you know, it was, like, time plus, like, all the planning and prep. But I'm really, really glad that I did it because I feel like I'd been like torturing myself with the essays, and I'd been like, you know, I'm like so sick of not being able to do just like the things that I want to do, like that I have to do these other like subjects or research and things that like aren't what I want to do, and I actually know like a lot of people in grad school who kind of like feel that way as they're going through grad school. Like a lot of people I know didn't want to apply to the US or Canada for PhD because they're like, then I'm gonna have to take coursework again, and I'm gonna have to take coursework in like classes that like aren't my niche, which I completely get. But for me, that was like more of a pro than it was a con, I guess, because like I don't want to have to take a math class or anything, but like just me personally and academically, like I'm interested, when it comes to literature, I'm interested in like a lot of different subjects and genres and everything. So getting the opportunity to like take classes and things that I find interesting but maybe aren't like the specific niche that I'm going for is like that's like cool to me. I don't mind doing that. But I get like the flip side and people not wanting to have to do that. But I feel like because I was just like in a toxic relationship with my coursework, that I was like getting to like feeling like that for a bit, that I was like, I feel like just sick of doing this. But then being able to do the teaching, and I got to like prep classes and talk both like still in like an academic way, but a lot like in a more casual environment, I guess, about like other kinds of literature that I'm really into but like haven't gotten to do much with for the last couple of years. I feel like that kind of like put a bit more pep in my step and kind of made me a bit happier even working on the essays I was working on, even though I was a bit worried about them. But yeah, I'm just very happy to have them done with. And now the way that like Oxford marks work is that I won't get the marks for like months. And when I do get them, they'll be like a tentative mark, like they might change by the time they show up on my final transcript. But by that point, I'll be worried for a couple days when I'm like, oh God, what's my mark gonna be? And then it'll be so far out, I won't care anymore. And then I'll get my mark and I'll be like, ah, and then it will be fine. So happy to be done. And now I'm completely done with Hillary, which is great. And I have just my dissertation as my only responsibility now. Because Hillary is also tough because if you're applying to next year's programs, all the applications are due during that term as well. So like I applied to 9 PhD programs. 9. The amount I think is like pretty average to maybe like slightly high. I know lots of people who maybe only applied to 1 or 2 because they were like, these are the only like schools I have found that like do my niche and that I'd be interested in going to. And then I know other people who applied to like the same or more. So I don't think that like 9 is excessive by any means, but I do know people who applied to less. But like these were all schools that I felt like I would fit with. But you know, those applications are all done. Things are more decided now. So yeah, Hillary is just generally a very stressful term. So I'm happy to be done with it, and it's like nice and sunny now. All I have to worry about in the next few months is my dissertation, and basically over break, what we decided like with my supervisor, my kind of like main thing right now is going to be like rereading the texts I've been considering to use as like my core literary texts and kind of deciding so I'm looking at like Arthurian romance. So we're kind of deciding like if I want to do a more sort of like satirical cluster of texts or like go the more like serious route with what I want to talk about. So basically we said, yeah, over the break I'll like reread those texts and then decide, and I'll like write a short document for her like explaining my choices basically and where I want to go with them before we meet when we come back for Trinity term. So yeah, that'll be good. I'm going to, I think, take the weekend off though and maybe get cracking on those next week. But yeah, I've decided to will hopefully be a very chill day. But I'm going to today, I think, maybe try to go to like the university parks or something and just like sit and read for a bit. So I'm not sure what I want to start, because I initially was thinking I was going to read Bride by Ali Hazelwood, just like have a nice romance break. But I also have Bluebeard's Castle, and I've been really like excited to read this one. So I don't know which one I want to start first. I think I'm maybe leaning towards Bride right now, just because I think it will be a bit more fun than Bluebeard's Castle. So I might take that one along with me. And yeah, just have a nice sunny day in town. Hi guys, so it's like 7:15 now. So I wound up staying at the university parks for like basically all day. But I only wound up reading a couple pages of Bride because I just like FaceTimed my sister and my parents for a long time. So that was really nice to talk to everybody. And yeah, got to read a couple pages of that. I was going to maybe head to Ballroom Emporium, but I think by the time I got there it would have been like nearly about to close, so maybe I'll go there tomorrow and do stuff. But yeah, it was a really, really nice day. It was nice to get outside, sit in the sun, and just chill after the week. It was really good. So now I'm going to head over to the varsity club because I'm going to meet Gaia for a drink because she's here for a bit visiting. So gonna go see her, which will be good because I haven't seen her for a long time. So yeah, gonna go have a nice chat. Hi guys, so it is Sunday now. I think I'm just gonna go head out and have like another chill kind of day. Like I said, I might go to Ballroom Emporium today. I'm thinking of also maybe trying to go to the Independent Cafe. Not sure if I'll get a seat. It's always like quite busy on Sundays. So I'll do like a walk by and see if there's any available tables. Because like I said yesterday, I was gonna start Bride. But then I remembered I have a Kristen Ashley arc that the release date is coming up soon, so I should be able to read it ahead of when the book actually comes out. So the next book in the Misted Pine series, which are like they're like romantic thrillers. I would say the last couple books in those series definitely lean like more thriller heavy than they do romance. A lot of her other books are kind of the opposite. They're more like romances with little sprinklings of thriller. And then this series is kind of heavier thriller, but I'm not sure if this one sounds like it might be a bit more romance, so we'll see. I'll let you know. But yeah, I'm really excited to start it. I always get into a Kristen Ashley binge at some point in the year, and I actually have like a few books on the backlog because I wasn't able to read them ahead of the release date, just because of school and stuff, but she publishes like quite a few books a year, and I'd signed up for her influencer program, so which is really cool. So I've been getting a few of the books. And yeah, I'm really excited. I have one from her Avenging Angels series as well that I had the snippet in the back of the first book, and I'm really excited about reading the next one. So we'll see. I'm either going to read this new arc. I think it's the woman. They're all like the woman in the something. I think this one's the other one was The Woman by the Lake, so that's not what this one is. Oh yeah, this one's The Woman Left Behind. I think the one previous was maybe The Woman by the Lake. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna start this. And then I also have, by Kristen Ashley, I have like 2 more to read that I just didn't get the chance to. I have Smooth Sailing, which is like a chaos novel, but it's like, so it's chaos, but it's in the Wild West MC series, which I really like her chaos series. I didn't love the Wild West one as much. They're just not really like my style, but this one, because especially, well, honestly the second one too, they're both like, I think they're both interesting and like I still enjoyed them because I just like Kristen Ashley's writing, and I think that they are a bit more interesting than a lot of other dark romances, which are just like, here are a bunch of crimes, and then these ones are like, here are crimes, but we're gonna like actually question the morality of this. Like in the previous book, so in like the book ahead of this one in the Wild West series, it was about this character who'd been like, he wasn't the main villain in a previous Chaos book, but he was like part of the motorcycle club that like was the main villains, because basically they'd like, one of the like brother's girlfriends had like ratted on them and they like beat her up, and then she was like the heroine in one of the Chaos books, which I hadn't read that one because it's like really far into the series, and I haven't read the later books in that series. But this book was about like someone in that club, kind of like after they'd really like, that moment was like a wake-up call for them, I guess, and they were like, this was horrific and we really need to like turn this around. But so like now they're all like really committed to like being better. Like they're a bit more like the Chaos Motorcycle Club, which are very like cinnamon roll motorcycle club heroes. Which I kind of just like prefer that vibe, I guess. But then in this book, it was like one of the guys who'd been involved in that, and they were like, you know, like deeply regretted it and wanted to like be different. So then it is like asking the question of like, is it then, should this woman like be okay with that? Like, can they move beyond this? So I think it like is legitimately like asking, or it's trying to like engage with those questions more seriously than a lot of other like dark romance books kind of do. Like a lot of those other ones are like, we're like being so challenging, we're like really, you know, like if you can't handle like things going against the status quo, if you're not open-minded, don't read this. But then it's just like someone assaulting the female main character, but it's cool because she thinks he's cute, which I struggle with, obviously. Which I find it like really interesting that so many women like love dark romance. I find it like an interesting phenomenon, I guess. But yeah, so I appreciate those series. I don't love them as much, those books. I don't love them as much as her other series. But this one sounds like it's kind of more in keeping with the Chaos series. It's just that it's bringing the main character to Arizona, which is where like the Wild West MC is based, so I'm guessing like maybe he joins them at some point. Not sure, but yeah, definitely I think more in keeping with the Chaos vibe, because I think it's like bringing a lot of her new series to Arizona, because that's like where the Avenging Angels series is set and everything. So I think it's just like doing some like crossover stuff and bringing things together, and the Wild West ones. So yeah. That was a very long, drawn-out little bit about that. But I'm going to start The Woman Left Behind, which are set in like this like little creepy small town where a lot of crimes happen and everybody like has to solve them. So I'm excited. The blurb for this one sounds quite good. So yeah, I'll let you know what I think. This is the 4th book in the series. And I'm pretty sure I read all 3. There's maybe the one that I had missed. But yeah, I enjoy those ones. They're quite good. I'd also like to get Sunrise on the Reaping soon, because I really want to read that, which is the new Hunger Games book, and it's supposed to be amazing. So I'll probably get that at some point and read that. But yeah, I'm going to head out now. So this was the outfit. I've had this shirt forever from Winners, and then this is just like a nice easy summer skirt from Zara. I love all the like little pleats, and I feel like it's just a very good like basic but like pretty sort of thing to pair with stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think I maybe even got a tad bit of color yesterday. Crazy. Or perhaps it's just all in my head. I don't know. Guys, so it's the evening now and not really anything else is going to be happening, but I went to the Paperboat Cafe and read for a bit. I'm like nearly halfway through the book now, actually. I read quite a bit today and I'm really enjoying it so far. I would say this one is maybe like a bit heavier on the romance so far than some of the other ones. Well, at least like, because I've read the first 2, I realized that I haven't read the 3rd one yet, but the first 2, they're both like older couples, and they're both like, in those ones the relationship sort of development is more of like, it's a B plot that like influences the main plot, because they're just very no fuss about it. Like they're like, I like you, you like me, we'll be in a relationship when we're not dealing with serial killers, or like we'll be in a relationship now but we'll like talk about it more when we're not also dealing with serial killers, which seems fair enough. But this one, I would say it's like maybe a bit more of like a main plot, and like it kind of is taking up more of it. And in all of them, and in this book too, there's not just like one sort of crime that you're considering. There's like many sort of like things going on, and then they all kind of come together in the end, and you can see how they're related. So at this point, there's still like many things going on, but you don't get what's happening, because so like in the first book, you come to Misted Pines, which is this like small eerie town on a lake, and you like, apart from like all the, you know, main things that are happening, you also see that like the police department in this town is really corrupt, and like the sheriff doesn't do anything. It's like all really shady. And then in like the other books, the sheriff like gets removed, and they're electing a new one who is the lead in this book. So it's them kind of like cleaning house of the sheriff's department and like going through all these old cases. And one of them is for Lillian's parents, who seem to have gone missing, as has her like ex-husband. So basically her parents went missing, and then she was like 19 at the time and kind of got in with this guy, this like charmer guy right away, but he was a bit sketch too. So she kicked him out right away, and then he like really dragged out the divorce. But so there's sort of that going on in the background too. Not much has been happening with that, but you can tell it's going to like come in later. But yeah, so her parents went missing, and at the start of this book, Harry the sheriff has been like going through these old files of this case because her parents had been accused of this robbery, but like the reason why they were suspects, like there's really no reason why they were in the first place. But Lillian is like, the sheriff kind of like always had a thing for my mom, but didn't give him the time of day, and he was pissed about that. And then, yeah, it's had this robbery, so she thinks her parents like skipped town to protect her, but not really like sure where they've been. And then the reason why he's gone is because they found like these two bodies in Idaho with, I don't know why they think it's because it's them. I think it's because like they were shot with bullets from one of the guns that had went missing from this robbery. So yeah, basically like figuring out if that's her parents, and then like what this has to do with the shady sheriff, the people who got robbed that like accused them for like no apparent reason. And then there's also this other case that they've come up with of this guy who it was like written off as a suicide, but from the report like very clearly wasn't a suicide. So that one I really have no idea how that one's going to come in, other than that it's part of like the sheriff's department being shady. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I quite like it. I think that it like is blending the two genres really well. Yeah, I like her like romantic thrillers, so I've been enjoying that one. And yeah, would recommend for when it comes out. I'll have to double check the release date, but I know it's available for pre-order now. But yeah, I've been enjoying that series quite a bit. And then after I was done reading at the cafe, I just went for a walk up through Christchurch. I was gonna go to Ballroom Emporium, but I also didn't time it very well, and it like had just closed basically by the time I would have gotten there. So I just like walked down High Street, and I met up with Anika because we went to a pub in Jericho and got some food with Gaia because she's heading out, she's leaving tomorrow. So went and saw her, which was nice. And yeah, that was it. I came back, did some more reading, and did a giant load of laundry. But that's really gonna be it for me tonight. So I think I will say goodbye here. Thanks for watching this vlog, and I'll see you in the next one.